You'll sometimes see that like legs twitching or running or
Mhm.
barking or
Mhm.
whining because they're dreaming about something.
Welcome to Unleash Curiosity by Vital Pet Life.
I'm Dr. Amber De Silva, veterinarian and advocate for integrative pet care.
And I'm Donie Yamamoto, founder and CEO of Vital Pet Life. We're so glad you're here.
This is a space where curiosity, compassion, and science converge, where we explore the powerful mind-body connection that supports your pet's health and your own.
Each week, we'll dive deep into the world of pet wellness, breaking down myths, exploring ingredients, and learning from expert voices across the industry.
From nutrition and sustainability to transparency and advocacy, we're here to help you feel more confident, connected, and informed in your care choices.
Let's get into it, because when we know better, we do better. This is Unleash Curiosity. Have you ever caught your dog staring blankly at nothing or barking in their sleep? Or wondered why your cat freezes mid-stare? Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Unleash Curiosity by Vital Pet Life. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and a little mysterious. Your pet's sleep behaviors and those blank stares that sometimes worry us. We'll talk about why dogs might bark in their sleep, why cats suddenly freezes mid-gaze, and what it all means for all their overall health and longevity.
Absolutely, Donnie. Pets communicate so much through subtle behaviors, even when they're asleep. What we see as a blank stare or a sudden bark during sleep is often their brain processing daily experiences, but it can also give us clues about their health, stress levels, and even cognitive aging. So let's get started.
Okay, let's start with dogs. Many pet parents notice their dogs just staring blankly into space. Sometimes it lasts a few seconds, sometimes longer. Should we be worried, Dr. Amber?
I think many times it may be something simple because dogs' senses are just so much more sensitive than humans. So they may be hearing or smelling or seeing something that we can't perceive. Sometimes, though, it can be a sign of illness, such
Mm,
as vision loss. So they're really trying to see what's around them, but they're struggling. They might be experiencing a focal seizure that
oh.
affects only a certain part of the brain and not that full body grand mal seizure that we typically think about when we
Mhm.
picture a seizure. Dogs can also develop dementia with age. So that may be a reason why they seem to stare at nothing. They're just confused. They're not sure what's around them. And then there's other conditions that affect the brain, such as strokes or inflammation in the brain. There's also liver dysfunction that leads to behavioral changes, and this is called hepatic encephalopathy. So, encephalopathy is a disease of the brain, and hepatic is liver. So, a brain
Mhm.
disease secondary to liver disease.
Mm.
It so the staring blankly may even stem from just habit or anxiety. So dogs with anxiety can be hyper aware and they're always looking out for danger, so they're staring around because of anxiety.
Yeah. Well, what about dogs who bark, whimper, or even move their legs in their sleep? I see that
Yeah.
in my little guy a lot, and I'm like, ooh, he's thinking about his action of the day. Because, like, he loves chasing squirrels. There's a funny little cat that says hello to him in the morning in the yard, and I don't know why
Oh.
I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, but I think the cat kind of knows that there's some other animals that are waiting for her. For him. I don't
Yeah.
so so
Yeah, so
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, I think that Martin is like thinking about the action when he's sleeping, when
yeah.
he's like, oh my God, because he's like, oh my God, he's doing like the bouncing bronco that he see when he sees like animals.
So dogs have dreams just like people do. And there's different phases to sleep. So during the REM sleep, they can act out their dreams just like people who sleepwalk or talk in their sleep do. Dogs' brains process their day during sleep just like our brains do when we sleep. And so you'll sometimes see that like legs twitching or running or
Mhm,
barking or
mhm.
whining because they're dreaming about something.
I've been seeing that in social media too about, oh, dogs think about their problems too at night. I'm like, oh, that's so sad. Don't do that. Jeez. They're really like evolving like us, turning into humans. Anyway, so interesting. And Okay, what about cats? Our feline friends are even more mysterious. So sometimes they'll just freeze mid stare at a wall or a corner and have no clue what's happening in their heads. I mean, us
Yeah.
parents. Yeah. What you think?
Whenever I see a cat do this, I think of that old movie Ghost when the cat sees the dead guy and it gets scared and hisses and runs away. But don't worry, that's not what's really happening. Cats do this for the same reason as dogs. So they have very heightened senses. And so they see and hear and smell things that we don't. They're also predators. So they're really aware of little changes around them and they can focus really strongly on those little things that we don't even perceive.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that cats actually don't blink as often as dogs and humans do. So, what
Mm.
looks like a blank stare may actually just be that way because they blink less than we expect them to. So, they kind of like leave their eyes open longer, which is kind of interesting. Interesting little tidbit about cats.
Yeah.
But, again, cats can get dementia or have seizures or other brain disorders, just like dogs that we've already discussed. So, any of those things could be going on if you see a cat staring.
Yeah. So it sounds like a lot of what we see in normal processing and dreaming, but there are signs that we shouldn't ignore, right? Like the stuff that you highlighted. And are there ways pet parents can support cognitive health and longevity in dogs and cats?
Yeah. So I definitely think if you have any concerns, if anything seems out of the ordinary, call your veterinarian and ask questions. Maybe make an appointment if that's the recommendation. So as far as like longevity and brain health, there are several things that we can give to our pets to support that. So there's supplements and vitamins that not only nourish their brains, but decrease inflammation and provide antioxidant support. Things like vitamins C and E act as antioxidants. And then the B vitamins and amino acids provide brain support. Omegas, like in fish oil and medium chain triglycerides are also great for brain health. You think about like just the composition of the brain, and most of it is like fatty acids.
Mm.
All of the lining of the neurons, those cells in the brain are fatty acids. And so just those things can help support brain health. And then beyond the vitamins and supplements, like mental stimulation, environmental enrichment, regular exercise, and expert veterinary care can all help improve cognitive health and support longevity.
Yeah. Well, in addition, there are some most asked questions for unusual behavior in their cats. So this is for cat parents. Like, why does a cat sit in the litter box and purr? Or what if the cat doesn't purr much? Should pet parents be worried?
So cats purr for a couple of reasons. They can be content and happy, but sometimes they also do it to calm themselves
No.
down when they're nervous. It's like this self-calming technique.
Mm-hmm.
So just like people have different voices, cats can have different purrs. And so some are really quiet and others seem like so loud you can hear them from across the room. Uh, and then, some cats do it more than others. It's just kind of their personality and what situations they're in. So I've seen a lot of cats in the clinic who seem pretty happy and content and they're purring, and
Mm-hmm.
I always love to hold those kitties up to my ear because I
Aw.
love
Like
cats
the
purring.
fur cat lady.
It kind of calms me down too. As far as laying in the litter box, that is kind of strange because cats are usually so meticulous about keeping themselves clean.
Oh.
So it could be a way to hide from a stressful situation or a sign of illness like kidney disease. So I've never honestly really seen a healthy cat just sit and lay in the litter box. So that would
There
be
was
kind of
something.
concerning for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause they are very clean animals. They're always bathing themselves and just trying to keep themselves really clean if they're healthy. So I would be concerned if a cat's just laying in the litter box.
I think most pet parents are familiar with those bursts of high energy we call zoomies. I mean, Dr. Amber, how would you explain when zoomies are completely normal for cats and dogs?
I think that, just like children, when they get so much pent up energy, they need a way to release that. And that's when those zoomies happen. And they can also do it when they're really excited. Like if you've been at work and you get home
Mm-hmm.
and they're just so excited to see you, they just can't help themselves but zoom around.
Yeah.
So that's, it's really fun to watch. I think
Yeah.
they're
I
just
love
so
it when,
cute and
yeah.
yeah, and then you're like, they love me and they're so happy and healthy when they're doing those zoomies.
I like it when, the Martan and Tuxedo, they do that like usually like around maybe like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. I think they know that it's a time like, okay, we've done our walks. Now I wanted to go out and run around. And they love to just do zoomies in the yard. And I've noticed that they kind of know how to hide under the trees because like they know that I can't bend, and they really like it when I'm trying to, chase them around. It's kind of funny
Yeah.
and kind of cute. It just makes your heart like, burst of
Oh,
joy.
yeah.
I like
Yep.
it.
When,
It just
the
changes.
little
Like
dog
there's
that
just, yeah. I think like the vibration that they're doing with that, like it just changes like something in the field.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like my little dog, I had a Pekingese when I was in vet school, and she was like elderly when I got her, but she would do the zoomies, and then she'd like put her head down low to the ground with her front paws and kind of pounce with
Yeah,
her little butt up in the air,
yeah.
and she just wanted to play, and it was just so much fun.
I know. I like it when they do that. Well, that's fantastic. So, any advice for pet parents who notice these behaviors but aren't sure if it's a serious one or not pretty serious?
Yeah. So we've talked about a lot of things that can be normal and other things that might be a sign of an illness. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
always important to check in with your vet. Call the veterinary office and leave a message so that you can get expert advice and recommendations from your family vet.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for today's episode of Unleash Curiosity. We explore the mysteries of black stares, nighttime barks, and all those quirky cat behaviors that leave us scratching our heads. Remember, most of these behaviors are completely normal, but paying attention to changes in frequency, intensity, anything that can give you valuable clues about your pet's health and longevity. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow pet parents. And for tips on pet longevity, nutrition, and wellness, visit us at vitalpetlife.com.
If you notice something unusual in your pet recently, take notes, stay observant, and don't hesitate to check in with your vet. Supporting your pet's mental and physical health is the best way to give them a long, happy life. Thanks for tuning in.
Stay curious, stay observant, and help your pets live their longest, happiest lives.